Hi, Katie Young here with Justin Wells of Gator Country TV. We just finished up the 8A state final game with Plant in Miramar.
That's right.
Plant taking away the win on that win. So, Justin, what are your thoughts following the game today?
Well, yeah, Plant won 31-20 tonight over Miramar. Personally, I was a little bit of a surprise for me. Miramar, very talented program. I thought they were going to come away with the victory tonight, but Plant, head coach Robert Weiner, that's their third state title in 6 seasons. I mean, there's a reason, or excuse me, fourth state title in 6 seasons. There's a reason they keep winning state championships, and that's because they have one of the best coaches, best high school coaches in the state of Florida. He has his team ready to play every week, and they showed it tonight with a big win over Miramar.
Definitely paid off on that one. So obviously Tracy Howard, a cornerback from Plant, is a big...
No, from Miramar.
Oh, from Miramar. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously looking forward to the future of the recruiting process. So what are your thoughts kind of after watching him play today?
Well, Katie, we actually walked up in the stands and spoke with Tracy's mom, Shay Howard, after the game. And there was a total of 7 UF coaches here across the 2 games today. And a bunch of them were still here for the 8A game tonight. We saw Coach Will Muschamp, Travaris Robinson up there in the stands.
Dan Quinn was there also?
Yeah, Dan Quinn was here as well. Spending a lot of time with Tracy's mom, just kind of keeping her company during the game. And I mean, that sends a pretty powerful message when you send that many coaches to one game to watch really one kid.
Right.
And talking with Tracy after game, it sounded like it made a bit of an impact on him. He said, that's the recruiting process. That's the type of things coaches will do. He said, if I was a head coach of a school and I really wanted a kid, I'd do something like that too. So he kept it in perspective, but I think he was still impressed by what Florida did nonetheless.
Definitely. So, I mean, you talk about the coaches being there for Tracy Howard, but what kind of message does that really send for Will Muschamp to be here at this kind of game? Like, does that impact the other players, or how do you see that kind of happening?
Yeah, I think other players here, that sends a message to them as well. It is interesting, though. This is the 4th straight year I've been covering the FHSAA state finals here in Orlando at the Citrus Bowl, and I've never seen this many Florida coaches here on one day. I've never seen the head coach. You never saw Urban Meyer here. For Will Muschamp to come down and spend some time with Tracy Howard's mom, I think that really sent a pretty powerful message.
Definitely. So, all right, so moving on to the 6A final that was earlier today against Armwood and Miami Central. Armwood, of course, taking the win on that one, 40-31.
That's right.
So what are your thoughts kind of looking at that game?
Well, that was kind of a surprising game. I really thought that was going to be more of a defensive battle between those 2 schools. It was back and forth. Matt Jones had a really impressive game. Really got it done more as a receiving threat than a runner. I was limited a bit in the ground game, but he had 3 catches for almost 120 yards. He had an 80-yard touchdown catch midway through the 4th quarter that really put Armwood in control of that one. And overall, it was a great day for Armwood. They capped off an undefeated season with the win, and they're loaded with talented prospects. Wouldn't be surprised to see them back here again next year.
Absolutely. And Armwood definitely got off to a fast start here. It was 16-14 at halftime, and then they kind of were a little sleepy in the, after halftime, but they came back. They held it on. So they came away with a win.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and it was a big showing by their defense. They had 2 interception returns for touchdowns in the first half. Jarvis McCall and Leon McQuay, and of course McQuay is going to be a huge recruiting target for the Gators looking to next year. He's only a junior. That got Armwood out to a 16-0 lead. Miami Central chipped away, though. They had a great offensive effort from their young group of running backs led by Joe Yearby, only a sophomore, and he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on for the future. 5'9", 200 pounds. He had a great season with over 2,000 yards, and he showed a little bit of that today, rushing for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns against an Armwood defense who I'm told has only given up 100-yard rusher on the season. He became the 2nd.
Wow. So any final thoughts?
Yeah, well, it was a great season in high school football in the state of Florida. That pretty much wraps it up. Yesterday we were here for a couple of state title games as well. We saw Bradenton Manatee defeat Jacksonville First Coast 40-0. We saw Miami Norland defeat Crawfordville Wacola 38-0 yesterday. Those games were both routes, but saw a lot of good prospects in those 2 games. And at the end of the day, I think Armwood's going to end up being ranked the #1 team in the state by a lot of polls. But Manatee, even though they had 2 losses, they lost to 2 of the best teams in the country. I think they might be the best team in the state of Florida. And a lot of these teams have a lot of young talent. I think there's a chance we could see a bunch of them back here in Orlando again next year.
Absolutely. So I guess that's it.
That's it. it. That's it from the Citrus Bowl.
So signing off from the Citrus Bowl in Orlando, I'm Katie Young. This is Justin Wells for Gator Country TV. So be sure and stay tuned to GatorCountry.com for all the latest recruiting and all sports updates.